So now you've downloaded the file, you need to move to the directory where you've saved that file, and we're just going to extract it. And again, whichever archiving tool you use for zip files will then open up and you can use that. We use WinRAR, so that's what we've got here. And then you just double click on the setup.exe file. Now what you may need to do, depending on your Windows configuration, is you may need to go in and use the run as facility and remove the restriction that stops you from running this application. So you either need to run it as an administrator or remove that restriction, just as you saw. So then we'll let the program go ahead. I'll just close that window down in the background and we'll choose next. Now what we want to do is we want to do the server installation, which installs the server and the client, but you can just do the client install as well once you put in the server. Put in the database server where your SQL server resides. Let's pop that in there. Now what you can do, if you're using mixed mode authentication and your current logged in Windows user has SQL rights, you can use a trusted connection, or you can just log in and use your SA username and password, or a username and password that has the necessary rights to create databases and so on. Next thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to choose the location of the license.txt file, which is usually stored in the license directory underneath where you've installed the server tools. So you choose that file. Now if you're running on a network that's using a proxy server, you'll also need to tick the proxy server option, put in the proxy address and the port number that your proxy server is using. If you don't have a proxy, then obviously you don't need to put that in. We're now going to create your admin user. So you need to set a password for this admin user. So this is different to any other user that you've set up so far in your SAP Business One installation. So you put in a password, reconfirm your password, and then put in an email address that the system can use for sending and receiving any notifications. The default destination folder is set. Now you can go and change that if you want to. It's totally up to you. In this case we're going to choose the D drive. You can then specify which shortcuts you want. Do you want an icon on the desktop, an entry in the start menu? Do you want something on the quick launch bar? Then you can choose next. Double check everything is the way you want it to be. Just quickly scan through and this is what it's going to do for you. So then you click on next and the remote support platform will then go ahead and install on the server for you. So I'll give that a couple more seconds to run, and it's a fairly quick process. Then once it's done, what you're going to find is you will end up with a new icon on the desktop, assuming that you did tick the option for putting an icon on the desktop. And that's it, it's now complete. So we want to leave the Launch Agent console ticked, and you'll see it brings up the console for the very first time. So we're going to log in as our admin user, which you'll recall the username is admin. Put in the password that you set when you were doing the installation, click OK, and then you're ready to go with the admin console and you can start configuring tasks.